Hey guys, we're taking a look at my Fleur plant deck. So I've been wanting to do a plant deck for a while, and I've been taking a look at the plant decks, which one I wanted to make. I think I'll start to look at the other plant decks over the next week or so, and maybe make some more, I'm not sure yet, but this is the one I wanted to make right away that popped out at me as being pretty cool. So Fleur plants are really about a few special cards, and this deck is based on Sorciere De Fleur, which is a very powerful card and easy to get out. So first off is her. I have 3 of her, very important for the deck. Keep in mind that she's a spellcaster, even though it's a plant archetype, she's a spellcaster, which makes plants kind of fit into spellcasters too, especially Fleurs. But the big deal between her is if she gets normal or special summoned, you special summon a monster that your opponent has from the graveyard, which you can use to attack, you can use to XYZ, you can use to synchro, so you can use it to do a lot of very powerful things. In addition to her being a very powerful card in general, just with 2900 attack. The big thing to worry about her is the 0 defense can really hurt you, so keep that in mind. And then Necro Fleur. So Necro Fleur is really crazy. Basically, you just destroy this card and then you get Sorciere De Fleur, which is really crazy and really the main power behind the deck. But this deck has so many different things it can do. That's just one of the main things it can do. And then Evilswarm Mandragora. This is a really nice card that you can just throw out really easily. Allowing you to build some good presence on the field, since you'll be able to special summon this every time you get behind. And then we have Fallen Angel of Roses, just a really great card, an easy special summon by returning a plant monster you have, which is really crazy. Using this and some other combos, you'll get access to Scrap Dragon or 7-star XYZs. There's a lot of different things you could do. Along with that, Copy Plant, also an amazing card. It's a tuner that can change its level based on what plants are on the field. So basically with a plant deck, this gives you guaranteed XYZs on top of the ability to have access to synchros like Scrap Dragon and other things. I'll talk about the extra deck in a bit, but in general this card just has a lot of different options you could do, especially with if you get your opponent's monsters from Fleur, then you can copy that monster, turn it into an XYZ. The combos are pretty limitless. And then we have Debris Dragon. So Debris Dragon is really good for this deck. Giving you access to more cards that you might need and allowing you to synchro. There's a lot of really interesting combos you could do. One of the coolest things is that if you can get some of these monsters to the graveyard, you'll be able to activate effects from the plant cards and all those things. You can use Debris Dragon to get a Black Rose Dragon, which can be very useful. There's a lot of different things you could do. You can use Debris Dragon to bring back Necro Fleur, and you can use spell cards to destroy it. There's so many different things that you can do just with this card, with how the deck works out. There's a few limitations to it, but when you start to play with the deck, you start to see a lot of the different options that you can make happen. So Botanical Girl is one of the searchers of the deck, which just, well, a lot of the cards search in general, but this one's just a kind of generic searcher that lets you get what you need, which could be very useful. And what's nice about some of these things is that the 1000 defense doesn't really matter that much. Gigaplant, also one of the staple plant cards, can be very, very useful to get what you need. So I like running it. Still debating this one, but again, can be very useful. Nice to have a stronger single tribute as well. And then Lonefire Blossom, obviously a staple in most plant decks, just giving you access to special summoning a lot of the plants that you might need to do whatever combos you need at that moment. Dandylion, just another great card for stalling and for getting out the tokens that you can use for synchros, which can be very nice. There's other things you could do with it as well, but overall just a very helpful card. Meklord Emperoer Granel. So this card's actually really, really good, and you have to understand the situations where it can be used. Obviously, there's all those generic situations where you can lose your cards, but one of the craziest examples is that you'll bring out Fleur, special summon, and you won't do anything with that monster that you get from the graveyard. You'll let it get destroyed, and then you get Meklord Emperoer. So there's a few combinations you could do like that. You try to destroy with card effects anyway, so Granel is just a really good card to throw in here that can lead to you bringing out powerful monsters on top of his already high attack, obviously, depending on your life points, but still very good. And then Spore, just a really great card in a plant deck, allowing you to get access to more synchros and more variations on levels, which can be very helpful. It's very important to get out like Scrap Dragon, for example, because it leads into the way this deck works. And then Fragrant Storm, draw power in destroying a plant monster, which is obviously very important for this deck. Mark of the Rose, just a really nice card that you can use to annoy the hell out of your opponent, and giving you access to, more synchros, more XYZs because you're taking their monsters. Pot of Duality, the one thing about this card is that it runs into your special summoning, but you still need some draw power, so it's still good to have this. Then we have MST, 1-for-1, obvious choice for this deck, getting those level 1 cards out really easily. Foolish Burial, another obvious choice for this deck, bringing things to the graveyard so you can use them again. Dark Hall, obviously, even though it's a staple, it also is very helpful in this specific deck, because you can wipe the field and then still get Sorcerer, which is really great. Miracle Fertilizer, giving you ability to special summon plants, very useful. Mostly stable traps, except for Chain Destruction. So Chain Destruction has a really crazy use in this deck, allowing you to destroy all the Necro Fleurs, and in certain situations you could bring out like 3 Sorcerers, which is crazy, and it's a really nice application for that card. Torrential Tribute, obviously it's a staple in a lot of decks, but again, with Dark Hole, one of those cards that's so useful in this deck. So now for the extra deck, you're going to have so many variations on levels, you really have to cover all the bases. So Catastor can be an easy one you're going to be able to get out. Iron Chain you can get out in certain situations. Black Rose, obviously a great card in general, but because of its additional effect in a plant deck, very useful. Scrap Dragon is so good in this deck, allowing you to destroy Necro Fleur and get the advantage, get Sorcerer, destroy their cards. There's a lot of great combinations you could do with this card on top of what you're already doing, so bringing this guy out is very good. That's why I'm running 2 of him. Stardust Dragon, obviously, to help out. And then a bunch of XYZs, again, a variety of levels, Slacker, Zenmaines, Blackship. Keep in mind Blackship is a plant, so that can be helpful. Utopia, Maestroke. 7 and 8 stars, you'll be able to get them out. So it's definitely want to have some of the best ones in there, like Big Eye, Draccosack, Tachyon, Hieratic Sun Dragon. All good cards. Again, you'll have a lot of different chances to get them out, so you want to have that variety. But you also want to pick what you think will be very useful. The Synchro are more like kind of set in stone. Some of the XYZs you can kind of mix around a little bit. So for this side deck, again, the side decks I do for these decks are just recommended cards that you can use for the main deck. It isn't necessarily a real side deck. But if you want to run more of the dark monsters, you can run like Tragoedia, Torguide, Gorz, and then put in Dark Arm Dragon. I don't like putting Dark Arm Dragon with like only half dark monsters, so it's up to you. And Effect Veiler can also be useful, obviously. Titanical, another plant staple that can also be very useful. Mind Control, I just don't think it's as powerful as the other cards you're using in this deck, but again, it can be very useful. Supervise you can also use with Gigaplant, which works really well. Maybe if I was running more Gigaplants, I would run more of this. And just finally, Limit Reverse and Call the Haunted. Limit Reverse, obviously, if you can keep it out, you can change Necro Fleur to defense to destroy it, but it can be tough to keep it out, so I'm not really running it. Call the Haunted, obviously, with the graveyard effects that you're using, and there's some other stuff you can do by destroying this card. There's a few different things you could do. But those are just some of the suggestions, not what I'm running. But all in all, that's my floor deck, my floor plant deck. Really a lot of fun, a lot of swarming potential, a lot of crazy effects you can do, a lot of really fun combinations. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. But if you have your own floor plant deck, if you have your own plant deck in general, you can post below, let me know in the comments, tell me what you're using. Definitely like to get some suggestions, see what I want to do with this deck. Just recently made, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm still mixing a few things up, but I really think it has a lot of potential. If you like this video, you can subscribe or hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more decks from me, there's a playlist in the description. It'll have a list of every single deck I've made so far, so you can check that out. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can see my Twitter right there. If you want to talk to me, tweet me, get updates, anything like that, you can use Twitter for that. But that is it for me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.